had some issues in the second race of the weekend. As we await the lights to go out, race 3 for the Batterytown Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge.
Good start from both the Australians here. That's David Reynolds coming through quickly on Rodney Forbes.
Reynolds with a fantastic start. Craig Baird going door to door with Ann Pedersen.
Yeah, that's a huge start from Craig, wasn't it? They're having a great old battle there.
So down through turn number 3, the rest of the field just jostling for position. Go on board with Tim Martin from the tail of the field. Oh, Mark Russ has dropped a wheel off, and that looked like the front splitter may have just come apart off the front of Russ's car.
And great battle. That's David Reynolds going past. That's the current Australian Courier Cup champion getting past Rodney Forbes there. Daniel Gaunt just tucked. Oh, there's a spin.
Oh, Beardo.
Beardo's a spin. Wow, that's most uncharacteristic of Craig.
Craig Baird spins out. Well, he's only been defeated in one race all year, and it hasn't started well for the final race of the weekend at Levels.
Yeah, obviously a bit of cold tyres there, wasn't it?
On board with Darren Henderson, and yeah, looks like it, just by himself. Craig Baird, as you see, Grant, very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, most uncharacteristic. Well, that'll make the race pretty interesting, I think, out front here now.
Well, it certainly will. We might have a second different race winner for the season. Jono Lester's been the only driver to inflict a defeat on Craig Baird, and that was in the final race of the weekend at Taupo. David
Reynolds certainly extending his lead there over Rodney Forbes. The two Australians, 1 and 2. We've got the Kiwis tucked in behind in 3 and 4 with Daniel Gaunt and young Ant Pedersen in 4th place. That's a good result. Here's Daniel having a look on Rodney.
That's a big look, and Forbes was pretty defensive down the main straight. Jono Lester back there in the 5th position. Got to remember, he had that clash with Craig Baird in race number 2 of the weekend, and I think Mr. Baird, even though he won the race, was pretty lucky maybe to not get penalised. Lester with a big pass up the inside.
Yeah, it was a great move on Ant Pedersen. Great to see these guys. I mean, those 3 guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th have really battled this year. They've had some great racing, and I guess they've been sort of the young guns of this season and really improved. Darren Henderson tucked in 6th. That's a great result for him in the Radio Sport car.
Nose to tail, we've got 5 cars in a big train here, and they're all chasing the Australian David Reynolds, who's got even more air between himself and second. On board with the Radio Sport 997 of Darren Henderson.
Yeah, Rodney obviously just holding these guys up a little bit. They're looking for an opportunity to get past. And you can see actually now there's Jody Vincent's now got onto the back of this freight train.
It's unusual. We're talking about the race lead here, and there's no Craig Baird. He spun. There's a brake lock up for Forbes.
Yeah, a little look there from Daniel from our headlight cam. Great view from this shot, similar from the front of the car on the headlight of the new 997 Mitre 10 Mega Cup car.
And you can see how dark the conditions are here at Timaru. Still very, very windy.
See it out front there, Dave Reynolds got a big lead, or a couple of dings there in the back of Rodney's car from there.
Couldn't get too much closer than that.
No. See at the exhaust pipe.
Rodney Forbes maybe just holding up Daniel Gaunt and Jono Lester here, and while these 3 are battling together, David Reynolds is disappearing up the road.
Yeah, David obviously showing his form and his talent. I mean, the guy's Courier Cup Australia champion, very talented guy, currently racing this year in the V8 Development Series in Australia, but super driver, and I guess first time here at this track and really going out to show his abilities.
Jono Lester, you have to think maybe just a wry smile on the youngster's face with Craig Baird having that spin, maybe a little bit of justice after that clash in race number 2. He's a replay of an earlier incident on board the Radio Sport 997 of Darren Henderson.
That's Jody going through.
Nice clean pass there.
5-second penalty to Daniel Gaunt and Jono Lester. Keep going, mate, going well.
Well, sensation, you heard the call there. That was Rodney Forbes, race engineer, and by the sounds of it, Gaunty and Jono Lester have both been assessed, I would assume, for jumping the start with a 5-second penalty, Grant.
Yeah, it looks like either they've moved, in that initial point, or just not parked correctly in that start grid, and the officials have been very brutal in that. So any misdemeanours, and you get that 5-second penalty. So they'll have to certainly try and get past Rodney and get a 5-second gap.
On board with Tim Martin, making a nice pass on Nick Gordon. There's the race leader, David Reynolds.
On board again was Richard Moore in the White Haven Good Water car.
Oh, McKillen locked up a break again ahead of him, as this is Craig Baird going past the youngster, picking up another position, so he's creeping up inside the top 10.
He'd say to the boss, get out of the way, mate, I'm coming through.
He's only had the 1 DNF this season, and that was in race number 3 at Taupo. Jono Lester taking the win and the subsequent round win. And up until now, that's been the only defeat of the season for the reigning.
There's Daniel having a look at him getting past Rodney. It's a good move by Daniel. Moving into 2nd place now. He'll be off after David Reynolds. I guess it's the rest of the guys now. Jono Lester now looking for an opportunity to get past Rodney.
I don't think Rodney would have fought that too hard. I think he's aware, obviously, on the radio that Daniel does have a 5-second penalty for jumping the start.
Boy, they're close, aren't they? They're certainly keeping each other honest through the track there.
Jono Lester's using all of the track. He just clipped the apex through the right-hander in the Blackwoods Pikels number 51. And Peterson, he's got his hands full now. Jody Vincent and that sinister-looking Coke and Tools 997. We're back on board with Gaunt.
Rodney closing under brakes there, but certainly he's got his rear vision mirrors full of Jono Lester and of course Ant Peterson and Jody Vincent.
Well, Gaunt's getting away here. Can he get some distance between himself and Forbes? If he can get it out beyond 5 seconds, he'll hold on to that second position.
Yeah, I'm sure Daniel will be aware of that too, so he'll be looking to try and get that 5 second gap and try and close that gap on race leader David Reynolds.
Got to try and stay with him, mate. They've both got 5 second penalties. Keep going well.
All to Rodney Forbes to not let Daniel Gaunt get away. Jono Lester's right in behind Forbes, and we go back to Peterson, Vincent, and Darren Henderson just off the back of that group.
Yeah, Darren's obviously closing. I think you can see that Rodney's certainly holding them up, and those 4 guys are now bunching up even more, and Darren's certainly closing on Jody as well.
Jody Vincent's really taken to these new 997. Started the season, of course, in 996 trophy, but had an amazing opportunity after the round at Ruapuna to step into one of the new cars.
Yeah, he was very lucky. One of the guys bought him a brand new car, so he's really been enjoying it and made some great results and great progress.
Well, I think Daniel Gaunt's got his head down here because...
He certainly seems to be closing, doesn't he?
He is. He's about 3 seconds plus at the moment over Rodney Forbes.
Bit of lap traffic here. That's Brian Green in the 996 trophy car.
Oh, there's the speed difference at the end of the back straight.
Didn't he? Just whiz past there.
Just shows you how technical that infield section is. As Ant Peterson and Jody Vincent go by Brian Green.
And Jody had a little look there also on Ant as he came through. So that lap traffic certainly coming into play there, didn't it?
Boy, Jono Lester is trying hard. He used all of the curbs through 1 and 2.
He'll be getting a bit frustrated. I think he's been here for quite a few laps and he's seen Daniel go by and he's looking for an opportunity. It just doesn't seem to be any opportunities to pass there for Jono at this point in time.
Yeah, he didn't get a good run out of 3. It cost him 2 car lengths. Rodney Forbes down into 4. Lester having a half look up the inside. He's not quite close enough.
Just not quite there, is he?
So this is for 3rd and 4th, possibly 2nd, if Forbes can keep Daniel Gaunt in check just up the track, but I think that gap may be out beyond 5 seconds even now.
Yeah, certainly Rodney doing a great job in the MPD dairy product. I mean, there's certainly a very distinct car painted like a Friesian dairy cow. His father's actually one of the big milk wholesale distributors in Sydney, so that's what MPD is. They do a lot of work with Fonterra. So it's great to see the Australian colleagues over here racing in the championship. And there's Beardo, mate, just catching up too. He's just getting onto the back of the freight train.
So he's not too far away. He's not the fastest driver on track, though. David Reynolds with a 1:02.8 has set the fastest lap of the race on lap number 5.
Well, that's a great result from Beardo, wasn't it? You think he was turn 1 or 2 that spin, and then basically coming up through the whole field. He's now right on the back of Darren Henderson.
Speaking of Henderson, I just saw the left rear bumper was missing from the back of the Radio Sport car.
Yeah, I think from an earlier incident, I think Jody, as he was coming through, obviously gave him a little clip, just said, hey, move out of the way, and just a little bit of a damage there to that left rear bumper.
Daniel Gaunt is definitely trying very, very hard here. Oh, we've heard the noise going off. Oh, that is a massive accident.
Yeah, that's Rodney Forbes and Jono Lester.
Well, that was the battle for 3rd and 4th position. Jono Lester, he's straight up and out of the car. He's in some difficulties there. The youngster in the Blackwood Pikels, number 51, and look at the damage to the front of that race car. Just on the radio, just trying to make contact there with Jono Lester. Red flag is out. That is a massive accident. That was Tim Martin. Jono Lester just down there receiving some attention. Rodney Forbes offering assistance. On board with Darren Henderson, just up ahead, and there's the problem.
Yeah, look, I think a bit of a touch. It looked like Jono popped in the back of Rodney and just pushed him off. Oh, that's a big one also from Rodney. Just straight into that tyre wall, unfortunately, but not much given that tyre wall, is there?
Certainly is not. That is a huge accident. So with the red flag, that brought a premature end to the race. David Reynolds taking out the win and going back to the last recorded lap. Rodney Forbes still finishing there in 2nd ahead of Daniel Gaunt. That red flag.
Richard Lester, firstly, how's your son Jono?
I think he'll be fine, Shane. He's obviously taken quite a big hit. I think it was 4.2 G on impact, sort of at a 45-degree angle, but just complaining of a sore ankle, and it started to swell up a little bit as we were you know, looking after him with the ambulance people. But he was sharp enough not to want to have his suit cut off, mate. So I think he'll be fine.